Well, it's not out of the ordinary to see the Hershey Bears drop the gloves at the Giants Center, but on February 25th, that venue is going to kick things up a notch as WWE's Friday Night SmackDown is coming to town. Now, I've mentioned to a few people, I'm going to be talking to Kofi Kingston. Now, Kofi, I have to know, what is it like knowing how passionate these fans get? Because it turned into a full-on debate about the best wrestlers that they watch, the best finishers, the best matches. What is it like being a part of that?
It feels amazing to be a part of that, to be honest. It is awesome because, when I talk about WWE, I let everyone know that there's somebody for everybody. There's so many people from different walks of life that have come together in this crucible that we call the WWE universe, So when you come to the show and you see, myself who, comes out, doing high flying moves and maybe twerking a little bit here and there, you can identify with that. Or you see Baron Corbin, who is somebody who, he won a lot of money in the lottery and now he's rich and people want to be rich and they want to win money in the lottery. So you identify with him, or you want to be the head of the table. So you like Roman Reigns, So it is something that is amazing that, going to a WWE show, there's something for everybody, and that's what we take pride in the most, is being able to put on a family-friendly show that everybody can enjoy.
I could talk more about the belts, I guess. I could mention, it'd be quicker for me to mention the belts you haven't had as opposed to the ones you have had, because you've had so many. Just curious, who were you a fan of growing up, though?
Oh, for me, it was all about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who was like a martial artist, and he was also a high flyer, so it was a hybrid of both. He came out to the ring with the Komodo dragon. He breathed fire, and it was just an amazing spectacle every single time. His bright outfits. So he was my guy. Shawn Michaels was another one who always had amazing matches every single time he stepped in the ring. And then Rey Mysterio as well, who it's crazy that we're friends now, because I used to watch him growing up when people would tell me that I wasn't big enough to be a WWE superstar, or I didn't have enough muscles, or I wasn't tall enough. But then I'd go and watch TV and I'd see Rey Mysterio on there, and he was smaller than I was in high school, So, and he was doing incredible things and winning championships. So that motivated me to believe in myself through seeing him do these incredible things at an undersized member of the WWE roster. So those are my three guys. It always rotates between the three, but those are the main ones.
I said, when did you really get the bug to go after that dream to become a wrestler?
It's funny because I feel like I have always had it in my blood. I've always I can't remember a time when I wasn't a fan of WWE. So I never had like a light bulb moment where I saw the big strapping wrestler walk into the restaurant and I knew that's what I wanted to do. I feel like it was always something that I have always gravitated towards, and I've always been enthralled with, So yeah, I think again, just like the spectacle of it all, whether it be the storytelling or whether it be the pyrotechnics or an amazing character that's in the ring or a rivalry, it's always been something that I just have never been able to take my eyes off of. So that's the kind of energy that I try to put out there when I come out and I get in the ring and I'm telling a story in the ring, whether it be the story of David and Goliath. Normally I'm David. I don't think I've ever been the Goliath in any match that I've ever had. But, it's just, it's awesome to be able to put out a story that people can follow. It's like an updated version of like what the cavemen used to do, right? Like the cavemen used to sit around the fire and the storyteller would tell the different stories about legends and myths and magic. And we kind of do that same exact thing when we get in the ring. So it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to do that. And, going over like 12 years now being on the roster, it still hasn't gotten old. And because there's always a plethora of stories that need to be told.
I mean, you mentioned 12 years worth of matches there. What's the most memorable one that sticks out for you that you were in?
There's a lot. There's a lot of matches that I've forgotten, to be honest. But if I had to pick one, I would definitely say winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania in 2019 because, like I said, I've always been a fan of this. And when I would be with the neighborhood kids and we'd be pretending to be wrestlers, which no kid should ever do. You shouldn't pretend to do what we do because it is dangerous and you can get hurt, which is a very serious thing. But we were, I would always envision myself as being the WWE champion. So when that actually happened in 2019, like by chance. It was the first time that I was even able to compete for the WWE Championship in over 11 years, you know? So 11 years in the business, I had never had a shot to be the WWE Champion. And then it finally happens that I get that one shot, and then I'm able to beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania in front of 75,000 people, and my kids got to get in the ring. My tag team partners, Woods and E, were there with me, and we've had such an amazing journey. For me to be the first ever African-born WWE champion was an amazing thing, because people who look like me can look at the television and believe that anything is possible because they see me doing it, you know. And then anybody who has struggled and who has come to a crossroads in their life and has ever doubted themselves and has had to like fight for so long and been at their best, questioning themselves on whether they should go on or not, they look at my story and they see that it's possible because I did it. Like, that to me, it's beyond the match. You know what I mean? Like, it goes into into real life and affecting people's lives in a positive way. So that is probably my most impactful match and the one that I hold dearest to my heart.
You led right into my next question. The only African-born WWE champion. Obviously, it's Black History Month. You've had a lot of belts, a lot of titles, but you know, you mentioned being represented and what that means. How important is that to you?
Incredibly important. We talk about like seeing is believing, and like I mentioned before, you know, if you look at television and you see everybody represented in a certain light and not you, you might start to question whether you can do, you know, incredible things and what, you know, kind of like what's going on. So again, representation is so very important. Now we have the most diverse roster that we've ever had in WWE. I mean, you have people from China and Japan and India and Canada and Puerto Rico and, you know, really all over the world. Africa, like, it's an incredibly diverse roster right now, and it's so important to be diverse because our product is taken in worldwide, not just locally. Everyone from all over the world has access to watch WWE, and we have fans all over the world. So it's so important to be able to have someone representing what it is that that people are living in real life and how people feel in people's cultures. So you know, it's an honor to have been the first ever African-born WWE champion again, just because of the level of motivation that it provides for people. And even like that night after I won, it took me about like 48 hours to like 72 hours to get through all my social media messages of people who were just like, you know, sending videos of themselves like crying and thinking that this moment was never going to happen, and they were happy that they got to witness it in their lifetime. It really is something special to be at the center and to be at the nucleus of all of that. And just to be somebody who can motivate people to go out and be the best versions of themselves is something that I take a lot of pride in, for sure.
Now, obviously, you're busy when you're on the road. Do you guys get any downtime to actually get out and kind of see the cities you're visiting? I know you're coming to Hershey this month, so is there any downtime for you?
There's a little bit of downtime when we come to the city. Sometimes we'll get there like the day before, but we usually spend it by going to the gym and just trying to get a good pump and whatnot before the show starts. Because as you know, we're out there, and some of us aren't wearing very much. You know, you're out there without your shirt in front of everybody, and you got HD cameras out there, so we got to put the time in the gym to be able to perform athletically and obviously to stay in shape just for the sake of being in good health and good spirits and all that. So very rarely do we actually get the chance to go out and see the city. Although I will say with Hershey, I have been to that Hershey Park with the roller coasters and everything like that. I really do appreciate how the entire city smells like chocolate. You know, it's amazing. It's pretty awesome. So like I said, we're really excited about coming there again.
As I say, I know you got 3 kids, just had one at the end of last year. Congratulations. But they know you're going to Hershey. Have they put in requests yet?
Not yet. They actually didn't know that I was going to Hershey up until now. So now I'll probably get some requests about bringing some treats back, and we'll have to see what we can do about that. You know, if they behave and they act right. You know what I'm saying? If they behave and they act right, then maybe we'll give them a little something to reward that good behavior. But it's really up to them.
Now, I mean, obviously, we've seen it on television. What is it like being there live for a WWE event?
There really is nothing like it. Like, like you said, man, watching it on TV is a completely different experience from being there live. It's like, yeah, it's a big combination of a rock concert with the loud music and good music, It's like an athletic contest with all the acrobatic moves, like a soap opera or television, drama with all the storylines that we have going on there. And then, like I mentioned before, there's something for everybody there. Everyone comes from all different walks of life, so you get to see somebody that you identify with doing some pretty cool and amazing things. Not to mention the energy that you guys bring to the arena. It's pretty awesome to be just to feel that energy and that fervor, especially as we head to WrestleMania. This is the time where, like, the storyline start to boil. They start to bubble and cook and work our way towards the biggest show of the year. So these are probably some of the best shows of the year, being that we're trying to get to the climax in our season. There's no season finale because we're right on the road again the very next night. But we work towards WrestleMania, and everything leading up to it is always amazing. So bring your signs, you know what I mean? Come and cheer for the people who you love, boo the people who you hate, and it's all good. It's all just a part of that energetic, positive experience, family-friendly experience that we love to put out with WWE.
Children's Miracle Network is bringing a young man named Corbin out. It's his birthday that Friday. WWE does a lot of these events. They reach out, they give these kids an opportunity. What does that mean to you to be a part of that?
That to me is probably like one of the best parts of our job, right? Like when I was a kid and I wanted to be a WWE superstar, I was like, oh, I want to win all the titles and I want to be in there and everybody in the world's going to know me. But the more the longer that I'm on the roster, the more that I realize how much of an impact that we have on people in general, and particularly the youth of America and the world, to be honest. Especially with our like philanthropic work, it's humbling that someone like myself can put a smile on someone's face, because at the end of the day, I'm just a dude who decided to follow his dream. And, that ends up with me being on TV. The result of that is me being on TV and being able to have a product that people consume all over the world. And it just makes people happy and excited to see me. So I'm always happy and excited to see them. So, it's the best part of what we do is being able to put smiles on faces, and particularly with kids who are in a tough spot. We never know like quite what they have gone through before or what they're going to go through after the show. But for the small time that we do get to visit with people, like everyone usually forgets about whatever kind of ailments they have or the hard times they're going through. And the fact that I can put a smile on someone's face and help alleviate some of that stress or pain or suffering or whatever it is that they're going through, it really does mean a lot. And it's something that we take very seriously and we take a lot of pride in being able to do.